Another interesting New Deal project is called the National Youth Administration. It was also temporary, but it was a very important project for young people across the United States. And it was also in the 1930s, which is the time when it existed, the National Youth Administration. So, like it says here, the purpose of the National Youth Administration was to help over 4.5 million young people find work um, and afford a better education. So, the age for this was boys and girls and men and women between the ages of 16 and 25. It was a gigantic, project across the country. Um, like it says here, the National Youth Administration and libraries, um, saving a lost generation through the National Youth Administration. So many of these workers worked in many different kinds of areas of refurbishing libraries, building libraries, talking sometimes to children in the libraries, reading to preschoolers, um, helping to build city parks. So there were many kinds of jobs. And here's a sign they would post to get people who were very eager to take these jobs. You see here, jobs. Get the facts about occupation. Um, Free classes, young men and women, 16 to 25 years old. So there would be classes about the kind of jobs that were available, and then sometimes brief training depending upon the kind of job that each individual might get. You see here some workers that working for um, this this youth project, and here's just one of the many different kinds of jobs. This is an outdoor type of farming job. Um, this looks like an office for the National Youth Administration. Um, Many different kinds of people. Like I said, the main requirement to be working for the youth administration was to be between 16 and 25 years old. Yeah, this looks like welding training in factory and welding work, which was many. There was training going on, and much of this training would not just supply jobs at the time of the Depression, but then would be a trade to keep for later. Here you see, obviously, looks like a young lady working for the youth administration, giving reading for preschoolers, because there was a great variety of jobs that were being made available. Here you see working on engines. So those who already knew something about engines or would be trained how to work on equipment and engines. Um, so these people were obviously working, getting and see by working for the youth administration, they would get a paycheck and then they would get a job, and a far cry from just like wandering around looking for employment in an almost impossible situation during the Great Depression. You see more workers here working on automobiles, which obviously was a big part of the National Youth Administration, jobs in auto work, which, obviously you think even later after the Depression was over, people were learning a trade. Um, we see here more work on more mechanical work going on. So it supplied classes, training, and jobs at a time when, like I said, up to 80% of people had no jobs. Obviously, other people working, and these young women were working in the youth administration. Um, okay, so these are just a few slides. Here's a welder working, teaching about welding and supplying jobs. And these were there was free training, but then also these jobs pay was received, which was greatly needed in the era. Like I said, the purpose of this was to help with almost 5 million young people find work and then get an education and survive the Great Depression. So that's an interesting part of the New Deal was the National Youth Administration.